Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jordan with the Laundromat Resource Podcast. This is show 63, and I'm pumped that you are here today because today we're going to talk about what it's all about. We talk about laundromat ownership on here a lot, and we talk with owners and other people in the industry. We're giving you tips. We're giving you, their secret sauce. They're giving you the pro tips for those of you buying your first laundromats. They're talking about their experiences. They're talking about products they have that can help you succeed in this industry. But I want to take a second to step back from all that. Just today, I felt like I was reflecting on, here in the US was 4th of July this past weekend. And the 4th of July is all about, freedom, right? Braveheart, freedom. That's what it's all about, right? And I was just kind of reflecting on that. I know there's a lot of people worldwide here, but I think the concept still plays. I was just reflecting on the freedom and laundromat ownership, and I was thinking about that, and it made me think of this concept that I heard on a podcast somewhere. I can't remember where. I'd love to give credit where credit is due. Just know that it's not mine, and it's somebody a lot smarter than mine who said this, or who I heard this concept from at least. And the concept was of two different kinds of economies. Okay. And I'm not talking about like government economies. I'm talking about like economies of, how we create money and value with our lives. Okay. And so, whoever it was, this wise sage was saying that there are the two different economies are the time and effort economy, which consists of the people who, you know, who are paid for the time and the effort they put into their work, right? If you ever have felt like or have heard anybody complain about, not getting paid what they're worth or looking forward to getting overtime, or things like that, where their money is directly tied to the time that they put in and the effort that they put in, then that is a part of a time and effort economy. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I don't want this to be a better or worse than, because there's nothing wrong with that at all. Right. So many of us work jobs and we enjoy our jobs. Some of us work jobs and hate our jobs. And it doesn't really matter. When you're working a job, you are participating in the time and effort economy. Okay. Now, the other economy is the economy that business owners, entrepreneurs, investors, real estate investors, it's the economy they're playing in, and it is the value economy. Okay. So you have the time and effort economy, where your income is directly tied to the amount of time and the amount of effort that you put into, what you're doing, and you're compensated for that time and that effort, right? And then you have the value economy. Okay. And what the value economy basically says, you may have heard this quote, again, somebody much smarter than me, and I feel like I should know who said this. But it's one of the big ones, one of those big, smart people that, you probably know. You're probably kicking yourself because you know who it is, and I can't think of it right now. But basically, what they said is your net worth is a direct result of the value that you're contributing to the economy. Okay. So one way to look at that, right, would be in the time and effort economy. A doctor typically gets paid more than somebody who works at a fast food restaurant. Why is that? Well, because they have a more specialized skill set. It's more complex. They have more responsibility. People's lives are, dependent on them. Whereas a fast food worker, and there's nothing wrong with working fast food, but it's not a highly skilled job, right? So that's why a doctor will be compensated, because they're providing more value, arguably, to their clients than a fast food worker is. Okay. So but to take this to the two different economies, the value economy and the time and effort economy, let's talk real quick about the value economy. And one thing that says is, you are going to be compensated your compensation will be determined by the amount of value that you provide to the world. Okay. So, and what it does is it can divorce or separate the time and effort from the income, right? You can provide a lot of value to this world by, and not have to, spend 40 hours a week doing it. A great example, that's a very extreme example, but Jeff Bezos, who, he started Amazon, owns Amazon. He's like the richest guy ever, or whatever. Or somebody like Elon Musk, who runs, a few gigantic businesses, right? These guys are mega, mega wealthy. They don't have more time than we do. And while they put in a lot of effort, there are a lot of people who put in just as much effort in their jobs, in their profession, and aren't compensated, on the same scale as, Bezos or Musk, or, fill in your mega billionaire, whoever it might be. Right. And they're not using more time, right? Or take, for example, a rental real estate property where, as a landlord, if you own a property, maybe your rent's $2,000 a month, which is a joke here in Southern California, and maybe a lot of places now. I don't know. Everything's going sky high right now. But if your rent is $2,000 a month, all your expenses, including your mortgage and everything, are $1,500 a month. Well, you're going to make $500 a month, and you may not have put in more than an hour or two's worth of effort, for that whole month. So, or if you have a property manager, maybe you're making a little bit less, but you're putting in no time, right? And so that's the value economy versus the time and effort economy. One of the things that makes laundromats very beautiful is that, while I won't say that laundromats can be completely separated from time and effort, because you do need to put some time and effort into them, at least until you scale to a point where you can start to hire, managers, and, hire different levels of employees to take care of your business for you. But until you get there, right, you may still have to put in some time and some effort, but the amount of time and the amount of effort is going to be much smaller than, probably than a full-time job would be. And you might be compensated almost as well, just as well, maybe even more than your 9 to 5 job that you could get, with whatever credentials you have. Right. And the beauty of this is, it's something that Brian Wallace called flex time, right? You do need to put some time and effort into it, but you can schedule that time when you want to schedule it, and can kind of work around your schedule. So, for example, I'm here in LA. Sometimes I will get up at 4 a.m. to go do my laundromat stuff so that I can get out to LA, to my laundromats, do what I need to do, and get home before rush hour starts. Otherwise, it's going to take me so much longer, right? Or sometimes, for example, my son might have a baseball game, or my daughter might have a dance recital, and I want to go to those, so I can schedule, going and doing my laundromat stuff around those things so that I can attend those things. So, all that to say is, one of the beauties of laundromats is that the reason that a lot of us have gotten into laundromats is because we've been searching for that freedom, right? And whether we've put words to it or not, what we're really trying to do is move from that time and effort economy into that value economy, where we can create and generate an income that's not tied to the amount of time we put in. It's not tied to the amount of effort we put in. It's tied to the amount of value that we offer the community, which doesn't always correlate one-to-one with time and effort, right? And that's a big mind shift for a lot of people to make. But I have so many coaching clients I talk to every single week who are, hate their 9 to 5 job, or who, just want more time with their kids. It's crazy. You hear this all the time. It's a cliche, but you turn around and your kids are all of a sudden, I remember when my son turned 9 last year, and I was like, holy cow, he's halfway to being an adult. Like, am I doing everything I need to be doing for my son so that when he turns 18, he's going to be prepared for life because he's going to be an adult. Now, obviously, he's not, going to be on his own, hopefully, then, but he will, will still be there to support him and stuff. But, I need to be preparing him because it happens so fast, right? So, freeing up that time, freeing up even just the mental capacity of, that some jobs might require of you in order to invest that time into the things that matter to you. That is one of the beautiful things about laundromats. I know Dave Menz, laundromat millionaire, he talks all the time about why he thinks laundromats are, the best small business in America. And I that freedom, that flex time, is, in my opinion, the number one thing, right? Because it is something that we all strive for. We all want to do the things that we want to do with the people that we want to do them with at the times we want to do them, right? And life gets in the way of that so much because we have to make money to make ends meet, to pay the bills, to feed our families, all of that stuff that we have to do. But there's more than one way to do it, right? There's more than one way to do it. You can go the time and effort economy route, which most of us will have to do at least for some period of time, and or you can go the value economy route where you are creating something or you are providing something that creates a lot of value for the people that you serve, and that value for those people creates value for you in the form of income, in the form of net worth gain, in the form of tax breaks, whatever the case may be, right? And for most of us, I will say that most of us start out and it's a both and, right? Most of us are going to start out with that 9 to 5 job with the time and effort economy, that we're going to have to, feed our families and pay our bills and save for our investments, through having a job. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And some of you guys really love your jobs and don't want rid of your jobs. That's totally fine too. The point here is that you have the freedom to choose how you want to spend your time and who you want to spend your time with. So as I was reflecting over 4th of July, which, again is, where Americans celebrate independence, we celebrate freedom, and all the freedoms that we have here. And those can be in question sometimes. I understand that. But the principle of it is, we all want freedom. And I think it's what drives a lot of laundromat owners to be laundromat owners, to be able to provide for yourself, to be able to create something valuable and provide something valuable for your community, to be able to have an income stream that's not tied to your time, that's not tied to the amount of effort that you put into your work or your income stream, whatever that might be, right? And to have an income stream that is based, almost exclusively on the amount of value that you give to your community, right? So all that to say, I just wanted you to think and reflect a little bit this week. I wanted to just kind of take a pause again from the normal, interviews, which I love. And I know you guys love them too. But I really think this concept is sort of the underlying foundational concept of why laundromat ownership can be so powerful. It's why, I talk about, gaining financial freedom through laundromat ownership. Is because when you have that financial freedom, you get to choose what you want to do with your time. You get to choose, who you want to spend your time with and when you want to spend your time with them. You want to work 80 hours a week, work 80 hours a week if you want. You get to choose that. You want to go sit on the beach in Belize, go sit on a beach in Belize. You get to choose that, right? That's the point. That's the freedom that we're talking about. But I would also argue at the same time, you know, the freedom also gives you the freedom to give back, right? The freedom also gives you the freedom to help others. So don't forget that also, just my little 2 cents there, but take it just a minute. This episode's shorter, so maybe you're driving or maybe you're working out or whatever you're doing, and you just, have a little bit of time to just take a minute and think about what would freedom look like for you? What would freedom in your life look like? And how can your laundromats that you own, or how can laundromats that you want to purchase help you attain that freedom? All right, guys, that is it for today. We'll be back with your regularly scheduled program next week. This is Jordan with the Laundromat Resource Podcast, show 63. We will see you next week or on the forums or in a webinar or something. We got a lot going on, so make sure you're joining us on all of that stuff, and we'll see you then. All right, guys. Peace.